So the law has finally caught up with AI art. Let's get into it.
Hey everyone, it's Mavvery.
There are many lawsuits this year against AI image generation, mostly by authors and artists whose work has been stolen by these large corporations. The only problem? Most of the legal rulings have actually been in favor of AI. Well, kind of. Most of you who clicked on this video already know what AI is and how it works, but for the sake of clarity, I'm going to go over some of the basics. In order to formulate an opinion on something, you first need to understand what it is. When I say AI, I'm talking specifically about generative AI. This is what produces images and text that you might see in chatbots or posted by tech bros on Twitter. I'm referencing this article by MIT, by the way. They describe non-generative AI as a machine that makes generalizations and predictions based on existing sets of data, whereas generative AI learns off of existing sets and then creates new ones. The idea of AI has been around for really quite a long time, way before it started making headlines in the past 7 years or so. It has only become more technologically advanced recently as it starts to produce cleaner and more quote-unquote desirable images, videos, or text. You may have heard of things like diffusion models or machine learning before. These are subsets of generative AI that just utilize different code to achieve slightly different results. It's essentially the same thing. It attempts to replicate the human brain to come up to its own conclusions and create new data sets. This whole thing starts to get really tricky when you visit the concept of black box AI, and not the company by the same name. It's a phenomenon that is almost like a dark space of unintelligible reasoning coming from the AI. In other words, you can see what goes in and comes out of a model, but you can't see any sort of path of logic it followed. It's in a black box, hidden from view. Sometimes that's on purpose, and the company can trace it. They just don't want the general public to, quote-unquote, steal their code for privacy concerns. But more often than not, it's what's known as an organic black box, as this IBM article puts it. An organic black box is a naturally occurring obscurification of reasoning an AI takes, which is said to be so convoluted and unique to the AI that even the creators themselves can't track it. I'm sure you can see how this is a problem, because there's no way to source any error that might be present in its outputs. You can't see what kind of path it's taking to come to its conclusions. That's about as far as we need to go into how AI works, so let's briefly talk about its impacts on economics and ethics to get an idea of the basis for legal proceedings that we'll cover in just a bit. The most obvious pitfall related to economics is the job displacement. Many artists are and have been quite worried for some time now about being replaced by AI. If you aren't an artist, this sounds just like paranoia and maybe people who've read too much science fiction. I get it. But I promise is a real thing that genuinely happens. There are plenty of companies that lay off their hard-working employees in artistic departments to cut costs, just to use AI. And the end result? It has no passion or thought behind it at all. People can always tell when it's AI. Take that Coca-Cola ad this year for Christmas. There's no possible world where AI is ethical. It's being trained on datasets of thousands of creators without their consent. If you aren't an artist, think of it this way. Let's say you have an apple tree. You grew it yourself in your own backyard after years of waiting for the tree to grow and learning how to raise plants. You go to your local farmer's market and have a little stall full of these delicious apples from it. You might sell a few, but it's hard to get people to buy your apples. Suddenly, someone comes up and just steals your whole basket. You can't do anything but watch them take your precious basket of apples and throw it in a bag with a bunch of crops from other people. The many years you spent cultivating your fruits and learning to farm has led to you getting stolen from. You didn't tell the thief they could take your apples. The thief takes apples from you and other stall owners, some of them even your friends too, and the thief opens their own stall. They set out your hard-earned products, bruised and damaged from the theft. They sell your apples and they sell your friends' too, and everyone goes to their stall, leaving yours empty. This happens over and over again, and there's nothing you can do. You suddenly have no job, you have no money to pay for food or rent or anything. This happens over and over. People tell you that you're stupid for getting angry over your produce being stolen because you brought it to the market in the first place. This is what artists go through. Their work gets stolen and traced and ran through AI, and there's nothing that they can do about it. It's not difficult to have basic empathy for them. I understand that it may be hard to get at first if you're not an artist, but I hope that example with the apples illustrated how hurtful AI image generation is to the creative community. Now that we have some basic information, let's talk about what this means from a legal standpoint. We know that AI generation is theft of artists' work, and the past few years have been mostly waiting for people with the right kind of money and legal advice to make a stand. And also court proceedings just take a long time. Generally speaking, lawsuits have been about copyright infringement. I read this article by Chloe Veltman that sums up the case and ruling. She describes some background on copyright and AI itself really well. She says the fair use doctrine enables copyrighted works to be used by third parties without the copyright holder's consent in some circumstances, such as illustrating a point in a news article. Claims of fair use are commonly invoked by AI companies, trying to make the case for the use of copyrighted works to train their generative AI models. In 2024, a group of authors took a stand against Anthropic, which is an AI company that used millions of pirated books to train its AI chatbots. The judge essentially said that because the use of the books was transformative enough, that it was considered fair use. Transformative is a word often used in copyright claims. It's the legal equivalent of copying someone else's homework but changing it up a bit to make it your own work. You build off an existing media and make it your own. This is often used in reviewers of books or movies online. If you've ever seen like a video essay on someone reading a book and they read a few excerpts from it to give you an idea of their experience, stuff like that. Or it's also used in parodies. Anyway, since Anthropic used pirated books that it didn't pay for, the author's legal team used that as standing for theft. Considering that this can be a big piracy issue, the judge said that they'll be going to trial against that. There are some other interesting cases against AI as well. Disney, which has been in hot water with the general public for a while now, seems like they might actually work out in our favor regarding AI. They're suing Midjourney, which is, I'm sure you've heard of it, a large generative AI company, and as of June of 2025, Disney IP, so intellectual property, has been used to basically train its data sets, meaning that it can generate Disney characters doing whatever the prompter wants. So this is huge. Smaller artists have tried suing Mavvery and other similar companies in the past for pretty much the same thing, but unfortunately they lacked the funding or recognition to do so. Giant Hollywood corporations like Disney absolutely can make a difference, even if their morals regarding the greater good are a little rocky. Are they doing this just to protect their own brand and to try to not lose money? Probably. But hopefully there's still a good outcome to all of this for artists anyway. Midjourney likens the creation of their images to an artist being inspired to paint a sunset after seeing one, but that comparison seems to fall flat, as it's not the same as artificial intelligence mashing together copyrighted works. Human artists get in trouble for having pieces that take too much from other people's art all the time. AI should be no different in that respect, especially as it lacks the human ability to feel and create based on those emotions. Many of the most impactful lawsuits are still ongoing, so the first one to conclude completely will set what is known as a precedent for future cases. That basically just means that future rulings dealing with similar cases will reference and often come to the same conclusion of the original one. If the first lawsuit to go through rules in favor of artists, this can make huge waves and possibly put a stop on unauthorized AI image generation forever. But only time will tell. Thank you so much for watching, and if you have any cases you'd like me to cover or thoughts about this situation, please comment down below. All of the sources that I used will be in the description as well. I'll see you next time!